There are a lot of motivational theories that have different views on what motivates the employees of an organization to work harder. And I'm going to discuss 6 of them in this single video. The timestamps will be in the description section and comments below. You can skip around if you want to. Now, the theories you will get in this video are self-determination theory, goal-setting theory, self-efficacy theory, reinforcement theory, equity theory, and expectancy theory. I did not want to make one video per each of the theories, so all of them at once. First of all, self-determination theory. You are more likely to work harder if you think that you are making the choice to work harder. For example, you might feel like reading a book from time to time. But if someone tells you that you have to finish the book in this month, you are not going to feel that much interested in finishing the book. On the other hand, you are able to finish the same book in a week, but the outside force will reduce the chances of you finishing the book in a month, let alone a week. The thing about self-determination theory is, it says that intrinsic motivation is better than extrinsic motivation. What you need to keep in mind is this theory works if you already had the intrinsic motivation in the first place. That is, you already wanted to do it. Then if someone else tells you to do it, you will not be that much motivated to do that. But if you did not have any intrinsic motivation in the first place, then, well, that will not work that much. Extrinsic motivation is required to do something in that case. Or maybe developing the intrinsic motivation can be better. And some extrinsic motivation like verbal encouragement are not that much likely to reduce the intrinsic motivation. And if you are a manager that needs to get a work done by a certain amount of time, then you have to give a certain deadline to your employees. You cannot just let them work at their pace. You need to get the work done. What you can do is give them a little bit of space on how they want to get their work done. That way they will have some level of autonomy in their case. Next, we have the goal-setting theory. If you have an established goal that you can work for, you are more likely to perform better than someone else that does not have a set goal. A simple example, you have a new semester in front of you. If you have a specific goal that you are going to get an average GPA 3.5 or 4 whatever in the semester, you are likely to work a little harder. There is a problem. You have to be specific. If you tell yourself that you are going to do your best in this semester, are you really setting a goal? What even is your best? You might have some idea about what you are capable of, but you might be capable of so much more than that and you do not even realize it. So, instead of doing your best, tell yourself what grade you want to achieve at that semester. That is, I want to get an average 3.5 GPA in this semester. Then you have a goal, something concrete that you can work for. And sometimes setting the target higher is better. That is, if you set your target at GPA 4, then even if you get 3.7 in the semester, it will still be better than 3.5. And that is why so many lower level employees have a quota to fill every day that seems incredibly hard to fill. Make a certain number of sales calls a day. Finish a project in 7 days and so on. Harder goal setting means harder work. But there is a limit to it. If a goal is too hard, the employee might just give up working on it. Now, there's a difference between you setting your own goals versus your boss setting a goal for you. The whole thing will depend on the type of person working. You are more likely to work harder for the goals you have set for yourself. But that does not mean you will not work towards a goal set by an outside force. The best way a manager can set a goal is to involve the employee performing the task. There, even harder goals can be achieved since the employees are likely to think that they have made the goals themselves. A proper goal needs to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. More on that on a later video. Now, self-efficacy theory. Self-efficacy just means how much do you believe in yourself? Do you think that you will be able to perform a task or not? After all, you know what you are capable of better than anyone else. High self-efficacy means that you have more confidence in your abilities. Lower self-efficacy means lower confidence in your abilities. And the people with higher self-efficacy are more likely to work harder during tough situations because they believe they can succeed despite any hardships. On the other hand, people with lower self-efficacy are not that likely to work harder, and they might even just give up when things get rough. They think that what is the point? I will not succeed anyway. So, you want people with high self-efficacy. And even if they have low self-efficacy, there are different ways to increase the self-efficacy of people. So, even when there are employees that are not that confident enough in their abilities to perform some tasks, you can instill the courage and confidence in the following ways. First of all, the biggest one is inactive mastery. That is, doing the task before. Whatever the task at hand, if you have performed similar and relevant tasks before, you are likely to be more confident in performing it again. That is not always possible for newer employees. You also have vicarious modeling. If you see someone doing the task you are afraid of, you are likely to gain more confidence in yourself. Showing the people how to do the tasks by doing it yourself. And that is why leaders who lead by working harder are more effective in a lot of cases than leaders who lead by telling others to work. Then you have verbal persuasion. Encouraging people that they actually have the skill necessary to perform a certain task. Encouragement actually helps from time to time. After graduating, when you start a job, your projects are not going to be as simple as writing a paper for your professor. And sometimes those tasks seem so much complicated that you might end up feeling like you are not qualified for the job at all. But some encouragement from the higher ups will help you find the confidence to perform those tasks. And that is why newer employees really need mentors that will give them the courage to work harder. And sometimes listening to motivational speakers also help because of this. And then the last one is called arousal. Well, not that kind of arousal. Getting more confident and psyched up for the work you need to do. When you feel more energetic, you will be more confident to work on whatever it is you have in front of you. But there is a slight problem in this case. That is, if you have a work that needs slow and careful attention, arousal will not be the best way to finish the task. It will increase the confidence and you will finish the task, but the task will not be completed properly. Next, we have reinforcement theory. This is just about rewarding the behavior you want to be repeated and reprimanding the ones you don't, right along the lines of operant conditioning. This theory tells us that if the employees are conditioned properly, they will act the way you want them to act, and as a result, their productivity will go up. Now, you don't need to get the reward or reprimand yourself to be influenced by this. If you see a certain behavior being rewarded in the organization in others, you will likely to imitate the behavior, and vice versa. This theory assumes that we as humans are not motivated by anything internal. Instead, external rewards and punishments are what dictates our motivation. Next, we have equity theory. You are likely to see what you are getting for the effort you are putting in. Then you might compare it to someone else in the same position and see if everything is equal or not. You are just going to compare yourself with others or compare yourself with your own past. An example, if you work at a company for 5 years and you are relatively happy, but then see that a completely new employee who is a fresh graduate hired in the same position as you at the same payment, who does not have your experience and needs training to perform at the level you are performing, you are likely to get a little discouraged. Where is the equity? Where is the value of your hard work? Payment is not always the only thing here. If you work really hard in a project with two of your colleagues and the person that did not have a lot to do with the work ends up getting all the credit, you will feel discouraged. That is just the truth. Sometimes you even compare the way you are being treated now to being treated in the past. That can happen too. Maybe in one organization you had the idea that you work at a normal rate. Then, after changing the organization, you might end up thinking that you work a little too hard. There are different references for comparisons. You can compare to your past self in the same organization, or your past self in a different organization. You can compare yourself to others in the same organization or others in a different organization. And that was the equity theory. The last one I will be discussing here is expectancy theory. According to this theory, your motivation is decided by what you expect from the task in front of you. That is, your expectancy of the amount of effort that is needed to complete the task. Do you think you will need 5 hours to complete the task or 20 hours? Then you have the expectancy of reward. You will think whether completing the task or performing at a certain level will give you any reward or not. If you think completing the task will not lead to any recognition or monetary benefits, then why would you even do it? Or why work that hard? And the last thing is personal goals. Even if you perform well and get a reward, is that the reward you really want? If you think you are going to get verbal praise for completing the task and you need money for something urgent, then you won't be that much motivated to work on that task. Or it can be the opposite. Who knows? But remember, all of these three things are happening before you are even starting your work. Your expectation about the performance, the reward, and the personal goals are going to be the deciding factor in your motivation, according to this theory. That was it for the contemporary motivational theories. If you have any questions about them, you can comment below. I might answer it below, or I might create a new community post answering the question. I will be posting videos every Mondays and Thursdays throughout the year 2021. If everything is going alright, you can expect a new video every Mondays and Thursdays throughout the year. You can also like, share and subscribe and all that stuff. And I also have a Patreon account. You can support me over there if you want to go one step further in order to support me. If not, just watching another video on the same channel will be helpful for me. Alright, time for a little bonus section. Nobel Prize 1910, Physiology and Medicine. Albrecht Kossel. Sorry for the pronunciation if it was wrong. His research in and of itself was revolutionary to help us understand how cells work. And based on his work, later scientists were able to figure out the genetic influences from our cells, more specifically from DNA. I'll not be talking about those things in details. This is a bonus section after all. Now, this is the official end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still watching, don't forget to take care of yourself. I believe if you are watching a video about contemporary motivational theories, you already have some idea as to how to take care of yourself. This is just a reminder of that. And lastly, I really hope you have learned something new today. Goodbye for now.